All right, good morning. Morning once again, and good to be back. Welcome to another thought provoking edition of your Smash Lanes. And my name is Raf. Good to be here. And we dive into the politicking of 2027, examine the shifting in alliances, the power struggles, and the voices calling the government to order. With the election cycle fast approaching, the landscape is getting, no doubt, more intriguing. And from the alternative group to the coalition, from the PDP to other emerging power blocks, the battle for influence is eating up, no doubt. But what does it mean for governance, for democracy, and most importantly, for Nigerian people? To help us navigate this political chessboard, I am joined by a man who needs no introduction, a political strategist, you want to say, a fierce debater, no doubt, a man blessed with the gift of the gab. Yes, he is. He's one. Segun Showomi joins me this morning, known for his passionate takes and deep political insights. He will be sharing his thoughts on the road to 2020 and the weaknesses of the opposition, and whether Nigeria is heading towards a real change or just another cycle upwards. Let's hear from him. Matumba, good morning to you, sir.
Morning. It's nice to be around you.
And
Smash
good,
FM.
good to see you smiling and kicking, and even despite
I'm
moving around the country.
always smiling. I'm always smiling.
Matumba, good to see you, and it's been a while.
And it's been very mind-boggling as to what type of nation we even have called. What will interest you about the issues that border each of the zones? Sometimes they are not the same.
Okay.
And it's so remarkable when you imagine that those of us from the southwest, the issues that we put on the table that are very big, like restructuring, like good governance, like holding our leaders to account, and you find out that when we get to other zones, a different level of coloration. For instance, if we get to the southeast zone, the major issue on their table is how they feel that they are having a glass ceiling over their heads and that they are not being given the best of opportunities. I know basically because around the presidency, which have been pulled into the agitation. When you get to the north central zone, theirs is just to be harassed and disturbed by the House of Fulani. The people who are, I don't like to call the House of Fulani, the headsmen, the clashes and all that. That's the biggest area. When you get to the northwest, the far northwest, their major issue there is peace and human capital development. People just want to get out of poverty. When you get to the northeast, which is the Borno, Adama, and all, you'll be amazed at people who believe so much in their, traditional rivalry of the Kanuri and the Fulani and all the tribal issues. They, of course, on the surface too, they want good governance, but they are not too angry with their local leaders. When you get to the south, you find out that the south people, all things considered, everybody just wants to be a little bit more. Everybody just wants to be like, the good. They just want to be part of whatever it is that's going on, and everybody, those who have the capacity to bully, want to bully. Those who have the capacity to dance. Nigeria is an interesting country. Superbly.
What we wonder and what we'll be asking that your journey around the country, and we'll be asking, what do you really want?
Well, first things first. When I started the alternative, I had been, I've been around for a while in this politics. And I think when I look at myself, my expose, the way I can answer questions, the values I hold, the things I believe, I just call myself pretty high because I've never been too selfish. Sometimes I want, but even that which I want, I always tell myself, why not do the let to solve them? They don't do any injustice. So based on that, I look at things more pragmatically, almost like a scientist. We look at it all like a teacher. I discovered that we have about to talk about. One, I saw that democracy was, and if it is feeling around you, you can feel. So I wanted to know, okay, what do we need to do to tell the people to have democracy? I wanted them to talk about democracy more. The second thing I wanted us to do is that I wanted to answer the question, look guys, why should you have 83 million previously collected and you guys are not coming out on the day of election? No matter how upset you are, your upset should be translated into boots on ground on election day. Why are you not? The third one I wanted to think about was I wanted us to engage. If you insist that they must pay and bribe you for your own vote, both the seller and the buyer, are you not injuring everybody? It's okay for the people that are rich and super rich. What about those of you that are not so rich? Do you not know that it's is to liberate the not so rich on that day so that they can have the ability to use their votes to show that they are kings. So I wanted to talk about it. The third one I wanted to, I realized maybe because a Yoruba man is president now, or maybe it has always been so, but I realized that the level of tribal conversation in the country is getting dangerous. If you start to abuse my tribe every day, wake up in the morning, you abuse us, tomorrow you abuse us, something is wrong. And before all of us become tribe men, I wanted to go back to the country and say, look, we don't have the conversation of development without making it a tribal issue outside us or go on our neck. So I wanted, and then the final one I wanted to discuss, and I began to ask, you don't really like Bola Tinubu now, but you didn't like Buhari, and after Buhari left, you started liking him, but you didn't really like her, you didn't like Jonathan. After Jonathan left, you started liking him. You didn't like Obasanjo. You didn't really like her, so I began to paint.
But that's the one you just said. Did you get a quick answer to it?
I'm coming. I'm going to give you. I said, why don't you like your leader? So what and I wanted us to have that conversation now. Look, if we're leaders in political parties and you don't like those leaders, do you not think that you could be the leader yourself? You can join the parties, anyone you like. I wasn't campaigning for any particular party. You can try to be councillor. You can find good people. Okay, you guys, find us the type of leaders we. So those are the kinds of very issues I was talking about. And I felt that, well, it's supposed to be a national orientation government issue. But I know they won't do it. It's not in their nature to do things that are that. So I thought to myself, why don't you just take your resources, go out there and do it. And every time I go and with them, pay and all the entertainment that goes into the town hall, and then I will also administer double blind vote questionnaires, double blind minister questionnaires that the possibility of the right answer will be quick, and then stay there. I do the radio, I do the communication, and I leave. I feel that it's my own way of saying, yeah, when they're talking about Nigeria and I want to have an opinion, I don't have to bother whose ox is God, because I've demonstrated that I can spend energy of my little resources, of my intellect, everything into it. Therefore, I don't see who will tell me keep quiet, especially when I've gone down to the area. And I said, okay, what do we even call it? Why don't you create something that everybody and anybody can be part of? Even if you're an APC person, there's no reason why you shouldn't be looking at and doing things even there. How much more if you're a PDP? How much more even if you're Labour? So I began to see that the parties were getting too weak. And the parties were weak because people don't have the discipline to go through the ups and downs of their parties. So that's basically what we do. And it was quite well received. People liked it.
Okay, a good one that you want to say, but then we'll start looking at the question that will come in all of this. Really. No. So let's begin this way and say that, you know, since you have given us an insight into what the alternative is all about now, and one will now start asking that, have you guys been able to notice, you know, the government and the people, and what have they done wrong, what have they done right, and how do you really think, you know, the government can be on the right, be a good, you know, and as a man who is advocating for a center and a more united, you know, Nigeria?
Well, the first thing I would say is that in the course of looking at it, I realized that if you took all the newspapers in Nigeria for a month, and you took all the newspapers in some of the other countries, can't do the country I want, maybe London, America, India, and all that, and you called and looked at them and the television and radio, you look at it for a month, you do the analysis, you are going to come out with the verdict that Nigeria is a very, very critical country. We are very, very critical. About government, as if our criticism is what even drives very, very. So you feel that, okay, if the world is looking for how to be a better place for themselves, if the American nation coming out of this, coming out of that, so that they can concentrate on their country. The Arabs are everybody doing the same, maybe we too in Nigeria. So not the ones that are generally getting our country. Why don't we start looking for solutions? That's part of the alternative we are thinking. So I found out that the people have an expectation of how their lives should be. But the people also are not looking at the services that they are enjoying already. So it seems as if they are just permanently on what he wants that he has not gotten. And that's unable to see where he's coming from and where he is now. And to make the point clear, those who do research will remind you of the research work that they said, the analysis of the human mind and the mind of a monkey.
Yeah.
Even professors and monkeys didn't come out to have better IQ than themselves in taking the right decision. Well, what that really means, I don't have time to break it down, is that people are not as informed as you think they are. If you ask me how many primary health care system did you have in Nigeria in 1960? And how many do you have here now? If they looked at it from that angle, they'd be amazed at how much progress they made. If you ask people how many houses in Nigeria in 1970 had a water closet and a WC, and how many have now, you'll be amazed at how much progress they made. If you ask people how many people in 1970 had a pair of jeans or more than one pair of jeans and a few t-shirts and all that, the kind of way you all dress now, and how many have it now, you'll be amazed at how much. If you ask people how many people had a radio in 1980 and how many people can get a radio now, you'll be amazed. If you ask people how many people could have access to a telephone and how many people could do that, you'll be amazed. If you ask people how many people had a bank account in 1990 and how many people have some form of bank account now that they can do some electronic transactions, you'll be amazed. So what I'm trying to say is that a social scientist doesn't just look at the anger of now. A social scientist must always go back to look at where are they coming from, what have been done, acknowledge the one that has been done, and then try to stimulate them to do more. Nations are constantly in a state of rebuilding. So if the Africans, especially Nigeria, they are not careful, they are going to be perpetually unhappy with themselves. Because before you even build computers, some people are already doing AI, artificial intelligence. Before you finish getting to AI, they are already going to mass. So we need to cool down. We need to understand that a collaborative, inclusive leaders is what is going to provide to move us forward on one side. The second thing is that leadership now don't carry any major consequence. We have somehow allowed ourselves to get into the unfortunate position where somebody can just come and say the governor here, he will do whatever he likes and nothing will happen to him. After I finish, he'll be running up and down the street, nothing will happen to him. Somebody can be a senator, he will go and be harassed, and then we will not see anything tangibly happen to him. The kinds of things that happen to be locked up overnight while they are taking. So you then say that, okay, we are not putting enough consequences on the ship. So maybe you can then suggest, gentlemen, we have gone around the circle and it's not helping. We need to now, to self-correct the system, increase the consequence. We can't have a country as big as ours and only EFCC will be helping us to chase people. What are the laws of the states doing? What are local government laws doing? What is the police doing? Is it that they don't have police or we don't have the laws that can tell them that we need to correct people? We don't have to allow people to. So that, then you will also notice that if the Nigerian nation, I say this with every sense of responsibility, the leadership, they are very weak if they do not come to the conclusion, anyhow narrative, blackmail, intimidation, fake news, destabilization, almost xenophobic conversation that is almost pitting the tribe against themselves. If they don't say not in this country and stop it, if you are not careful, you are going to continually injure yourself. You are going to be having what you call tribal related crimes. That means, oh, you target Fulani, oh, you target Yoruba, oh, you target Igbo. You can't run a nation like that. These are the kinds of big ideas that big leaders worry about. Those are the things we see. And I believe that democracy is the greatest opportunity we have to correct things, because whatever the case may be, any day the citizens wake up that they want to vote on election day, if he has a prerequisite material, he can vote. But if we now start saying, like some of our leaders, including Obasanjo and Kwa, say, oh, democracy is bad, democracy is weak, democracy is, they will run the risk that we're going to be making the people desire either a military system or some kind of dictatorship. And I know that Nigerians are so free that we can't survive a system of government that takes away all of our freedom. So, like I said, it's a work in progress. The Democratic Party in America is 197 years old. The Republican is 198. The party in England is also about 198. Another one, the one in South Africa is 124. The party in China, even though the Communist Party is 104. You have an idea that people build political parties for a long time and that you must build it to last. And therefore, I don't have a problem with people who want to gather to start another one. What me I don't want is I don't want people who are hopping here, hopping here, hopping here, hopping here. They're just destabilizing the political party.
So you are actually taking us to the next question, which is basically the coalition. And you have to yourself to say that those who you think that will do what you just said about building a party for a long time seems not to be ready for that anymore.
Because there is no consequence in the system. Ambition is the only thing that is driving people, not me. Ambition, when it is only ambition that drives the leadership.
When you say not you, some people want to say that maybe your own.
No. Listen, my ambition can never be limited. I have a very strong feeling that sometimes in this country I'm going to run for be the president of this nation. I'm at a point in time.
And every we say that is why we have the alternative moving around the country.
Maybe.
So I just want to have a clear picture.
You see what I'm trying to tell you? The thing that I'm not with ambition. I'm ambitious. There's a thin line between I want or the need for us to think differently. Every time you have invited me, you will notice that I never ask. That's how to prepare to lead. You can't be doing same of same and be expecting, and it's the great burden I carry because I desire you to give me an opportunity. But if they don't give me an opportunity, I desire that let us even help that is there to try to do what by inspiring me. I have no patience for doing nothing. It's tantamount to a developing society. So before you took me off the trail I was on, inordinate ambition, excessive ambition is what is causing and driving the direction of the politics of our country for now. What do I mean? If you are, say, a candidate in a political party, and yes, the politics is politics, and you do all the kind you can, and you don't win, your duty is not to say, because you did not win, the one who won must lose. Your duty is, in fact, double your effort to try to help the one who has been adjudged the winner to win. So that at least you can convince yourself that you are not under illusion that you can instruct yourself or install yourself. So that next time, if it turns, you must be under, society must be able to say that, come off it. When it was your turn and he didn't win, he supported you. Now that it is installed, why shouldn't you? And if you don't support him, other people will support him. You must be infusing the best into the system. Not even because of you that are around today who have almost got stuck in your ways. But there must be something with which you are going to inspire your children. There must be something with which you inspire your younger ones. There must be an ability to say, no, this one was different. And that is the right thing to choose. Because at the end of the day, every opportunity in public space, first is a grace from God, and it is an opportunity for you to immortalize yourself. If you run around the country and the society like a bloody thug, even if you are rich at it, nobody's going to call you anything than a thug. And if you run around the country as somebody who is pushing the country in the right direction, asking that we should do better, not weak. When it is time to criticize them, they don't criticize them more than
But you have been on the forefront, at the forefront of not being lying and not having this coalition sitting well with you. And many will want to ask that the current ruling party, for a coalition to be where they are today.
Okay.
And those that are agitating for coalition too feel that they can get to where the current party is today.
Okay, let me tell you.
And what we want to say that what exactly are your reservations?
Let me tell you the difference. You see, in 1999, being a progressive person who played very significant role in how we even got into the democracy, that's talk for another day. But the leaders of that democratic order know that I, or to myself, can show me, played significant roles in getting us this democracy, both in the country and internationally. Not just talking nonsense, but inspiring and move things to move it on behalf of Nigeria. I did that. But when we came in, I realized that our people tend to be tribalist. They believe very much that the necessary consequence of it. And I knew by history that even if they succeed there, They're going to still want to go and find out about Premier Awolowo, who became the premier here, and then when he wanted to become, his politics did not make it easy. Even though I was not ready for that. So I decided I would rather be with the National Party, which was the PDP. There's no other reason than that. So I started balancing and all that. Their ultra conservative lifestyle. I do not believe that the business of government in partnership with private sector, so that private individuals who have money will own everything, and the poor citizens will be their pawn or their customer, deciding the price, deciding the rent, and just being cahoots. I did not believe that, but there was nothing I could do because the ideological position was right of center. Now I looked at the people that were doing AD and whatever from that distance. So I had some sympathy for them, and I was just trying to balance things. But long short, 2015 came, my party lost. When my party lost, I was a bit happy. Not because I don't want us to win, but because I felt that you can't run democracy in this kind of place on an idea that one party will be winning all the time. There must be a reason, there must be a way for people to be angry and maybe go to another party. And in any case, for any other party to win, it has to be also a pan-Nigerian party. So the men, the volatile of this world, who were typically tribalists, the Muhammadu Buhari of this world, who wants to take the sword to put the blood of the baboon and also nonsense, were now forced to morph into a more nationalistic garb. So a pan-Nigerian party. But the difference between them and the joke that these ones are doing now is that they were men who could stand on their ideological position even when they were losing. And when the opportunity for them to win came, they built their ideological partnership along the lines of people who had similar ideological positions, only slightly colored, tribal, doxology, pedagogy. That means the way they spoke. So you see that in the CPC, who was also a political party, had some governors morphed and they deregistered that. The ACAG, ACN, who was purely a Yoruba-like or Western side party, also morphed. And then they created the APC, taking some renegades from PDP who ordinarily had no business going there, joining them, and they created another pan-Nigerian party. After the loss of that election, you know what I did? I thanked God Almighty that at least Nigeria now has a little to the right and a little to the left. The PDP being a little to the right, the APC being a little to the left.
The current coalition might be a little to the central.
No, listen now.
Okay, let's
the challenge of this present coalition, these are my friends. This man, Najib, is like my leader. I really love him. The challenge of this present coalition that I see is that, one, most of them have been tried on the national level. The Bola Tinubu Buhari coalition in this democracy, they have not been tried at the national level. None of them are the ministers of the federal government. None of them are the federal people. These ones, they are bringing somebody who has been a former vice president, who could have ordinarily done whatever I wanted to do with the platform that gives vice president. They are bringing Nasru, who had been former minister under the PDP, who again went and became former. You can't be saying every time you are angry, you must destabilize existing parties. That's the first problem I have with it. The second problem I have with it is when you are creating a complex all over the place, which is that there's one Messiah who will not come and tell us in clear terms what are the things you want to do differently. That they want to tell you, no, okay, this is what now, for the risk of not wanting to be a spokesperson because I am not now. Okay, if you had not removed subsidy, you guys, what would you really have done? All of you see it. You can't be angry because one of you have implemented what all of you said you will do. I don't believe in that. Okay, you are talking about how you are going to balance the Nigerian nation and open up and restructure. Are you even blind? Can't you see that he's already giving local governments and giving them more resources and struggling to force the governors to follow suit? Okay, is that the kind of people say you will not do? Okay, really, you want to come and tell me you are looking for a platform to contest? I can accept that. That your problem on the table is, oh, I look for a platform to contest. Then I will ask you, contest with your former party. Oh, what do you think is your responsibility other than to repair it to the president? Okay, tell me you're angry with him. So because you're angry with the president, the whole society must follow you angry with him. He may have offended you as you offended everybody. Like, this is how a leader should think. And I'm not stopping them. I'm only saying that, well, there are 18 parties already. If people register a new one, there'll be the 19th one. If you people enter into one that is existing, you will go and resurrect it like Peter resurrected Labour. Okay, after the Labour exercise, with all of the goodwill he had, why will he even be thinking he wants to leave Labour? Must every platform become lower after you have used it? If you think there's a problem that you think they don't have problems with you, see, my brother, I vouch for them. They are at liberties to do whatever they like, but the society is not going to be supplanted and made everybody in the system looks. I am saying that you people should be interested in strengthening your exit. I can imagine if Peter Obi were to be spending more energy strengthening the Labour Party, a great number of people who are upset might have gone there. I may have gone there because sometimes you have to say why. If they don't stand for anything important, if they look at you say the way the young man is going about his life, since it's not that election, if he's not paying school fees of nurses, he's doing this, you can't. Peter cannot be having problem only because he's Igbo. If he were to be a Yoruba man, would you people not embrace him? He was a Hausa man. Can't you just forget about all these Hausa Igbo Yoruba and look at what people are doing? But my issue with him is he cannot become a confucianist because he's confusing himself. If he had stayed in Abga, that he became governor and continued, maybe Abga would have been the last Labour when he was going to do that obedience. He didn't stay there after they made him governor. Okay, if he had stayed in PDP when we made him vice president, who told him that he could not have gotten the ticket? The fact that you did the primary and you may think you will not win. You didn't wait for them to count the votes. You'll be shocked how many people could have voted for you. In any case, if you did not win the first time, can you not try to win the second time? Okay, we gave you vice president, got you to a level, you left that one, you went and did Labour. Any Nigerian politician who does not agree that there was a phenomenal movement in 2023 is just a hater. They had a phenomenal movement. That phenomenal movement created certain capacity for them and gave them certain numbers. Why would you not strengthen it? Why would you not repair it at the base?
When you saw the
so now,
okay,
I then thought to myself, no, these men are overambitious, excessively parochial, and selfish leaders. You don't leave politics because you may go there, all 5 or 6 of you, and then one of you wins. I trust them, knowing them. They will vote out. No political party is going to dissolve himself for them. So if people in the media are happy to be having party come, party go, not staying, good for you people. But let it be on record that I warned you. Let it be on record that I warned you.
Otumba, this has always been the style of politics in Nigeria.
Good for you people if you like it. So.
No, I am just saying that that is how the politicians run.
No, not me. I've been in PDP since 1998. Man that was supposed to be that his politician, I remember, is like my father. When he was tearing his car, I looked at him. What's wrong with you? Sir, I stayed. The next person was go to my friend Gadani. I loved him. I loved the style and all that. When he started carrying himself from PDP, I got him back to PDP. He's in APC. I'm here. People must learn to have integrity of their ideological underpinnings. I'm not even saying that I cannot leave tomorrow. That's not the point. The point is that at least I have demonstrated the ability to stand firm, to build, to lose, to support them, to carry their flag for 27 years.
Otumba, let's come back on. Let's look this thing very well and look it clearly. You made a point, and what we see these days that politics in Nigeria is evolving and people are moving here and there. Coalition, you are not interested, this and that. But let's look at alternative and 2027. One of your agitations is not about a political party, but let's have viable people. Let's have people with unquestionable character.
Nobody is with unquestionable character. Let's just have the people you people want. Listen, nobody is with unquestionable character. If you put that in,
or they say no politician, who is politician?
No, sir. The people that are calling themselves the leader of church groups.
When you say your church groups, you pretend as if you don't go to
one. That's what I'm saying. The people that represent the leaders of your church groups.
Our church.
Just listen.
Our church. Otumba, let's leave it at our church.
Listen.
Our church.
Why don't you let me make my point before I leave the studio for you? The people that are masquerading as the leaders of your church groups.
Yeah. Our church groups.
Would you let me make my point? Okay, I won't tell you. The people that are masquerading as the leaders of your church groups looked at the lives of those who brought Christianity, you would have asked them, where were they when the people who brought Christianity here were building preschools, pre-churches and all that? Why is it that the new leaders of the faith is only about personal aggrandizement and everything? The point I'm making is that nobody who needs to be who we need to look at and find ways to improve. And before you think I'm leaving the Muslim, the people who Islam groups, where did they Quran to see that it is a sacrilegious act for you to kill innocent people? They are sitting on top of the faith, not sort of mountains in foreign languages, yet Muslims are getting killed all over the corners of the world, and innocent people are getting killed. They are not advocating on that. I'm trying to tell you, society must be in a renewal, a constant state of improvement, a constant state of pleading, a constant state of orientation. If you cannot tell me thank you, I am like that. I'm like, yeah, what they call that thing? Because now, being the people that are the environment, we know them. Begin to look at the good ones among them. Begin to encourage them. Begin to encourage. Why should you put to the National Assembly on behalf of my beloved Musa, who can't even talk?
But you expected somebody like you to have probably picked up a form.
Do you know, listen, maybe you don't follow me. In 2023, I ran for governor. In 2019, I ran for reps. I am not under obligation to force them to do right thing or to vote. It is their vote. And they can do whatever they like with it. What I'm trying to say is that whether you win or you don't win, you should be significant, and I do that often. Do not make me the victim here. I am the one that is insisting that we can do it better. When you see them, you know them, then you can be asking them the kind of vexatious questions you are asking that suggest that they are not doing anything to improve things.
So how do we just oppose?
Now, so that's what I'm saying is that now people should be a little bit more interested. Let us start with turning up. You should turn up on election day. People don't need to be begging you to turn up. Don't you understand what your civic responsibility is as citizens? Even the one that is not even educated, there's somebody educated in his town, and in his house, there's somebody educated in his village. If this generation that is here now, where the world of slave trade would have died in slave trade because they have no capacity to stand up and do anything. If this generation, your generation, are the ones that are supposed to get us out of military dictatorship, we would have still been under
the. If you say my generation, that means your generation suppressed my generation and made them incapacitated. That's
no,
that is what you're saying. No. You did not make a provision to make me as viable as you made my generation, and you excluded yourself.
No, wait.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
You see, yeah. Every generation must find his responsibility for security. Must try to do it or betray it and live with the consequences of his inactivity. We did a lot of protests at our time, but I just told you my responsibility, my great contribution.
Time is fast running. No, because you are moving around and you are not letting us face into now. Let's look at your alternative concern and that of coalition. One would have loved and be expecting that there will be a marriage for us to probably
before you can marry,
getting a better land.
Here, but you don't listen.
I want to listen to you.
I told you that the critical difference in 2013 and 14 was that a man who was ideologically positioned in the Southwest. Listen, okay. What you are missing is that there was stability in based on his ACAD position. There was both of them was tribal around the position of the North and Muslim position of the Youth to accommodate the position of both of them. So what is going to be the unique ideological underpinnings of these people?
So where do we go from
there? What I'm saying is that you have to still wait for them to determine. You deceive yourself more. You don't know what. Wait and see if any of the other proponents of this things will follow him. Careful, they may come with another one. And they have been shortchanged doing it. People like us are geniuses. The risk that if another one goes to another party, then they confuse the electorate even more. Because by naturally firing the first shot in SDP, a lot of people are already thinking to SDP, but I can guarantee you it cannot accommodate all their presidential ambitions. And not, most of them are not even ready to step down for themselves.
What do you really think is wrong with PDP?
Well, I think that there's nothing wrong with the PDP in the real sense of its ideological.
Why is the presidential candidate hoping to dump the party for a coalition?
Oh, you want to force me to lash out on him, and he's my man, so let me sidestep that. What I would just say is, my man, I don't want to do that.
I understand you.
What I'm trying to say is that, listen, the PDP was registered in 1998. Obasanjo Olusegun Aremu, and Father here was his first candidate. And he ran for 8 years. Shaliman, who got the platform to run for 8 years, even had the audacity to even install a successor of his own choosing, be angry with the party and leave it. If that party had not given him that thing, what would he have been doing? So, if he was angry, he ought to have known that whatever is making him angry, that was his responsibility to correct. Now, the one that was vice president, he was vice president for the president of Nigeria.
No, you're not from nowhere.
Don't interrupt from nowhere. What I mean is that you don't contest to be vice president. Okay. You are deputy governor and vice president from nowhere.
But you must be somebody viable in the party as well. You know his capacity. You know even at
going to market him to
you, but I just want to believe that I don't care to see from nowhere.
No, listen. I don't know the marketing. You can't market him.
All right.
I'm the one that used to marketing. You are coming to argue.
Well, come now. You're not
I'm not the marketing.
Oh, yeah, let's go on.
You're stopping me.
Oh yeah, let's move on.
I said what I'm trying to say is that anybody who wants to be president indicates the person that will be vice president or deputy governor is at the behest after a governor and a deputy governor has emerged. It could have been any other person. But I was don't hold on to adjectives. Now he became vice president, became the most powerful vice president in the history of the country. And he ran it with his boss until he finished, however toxic. Okay, maybe he wanted to run president, he did it in AC. It didn't work. Then he tried to do it in PDP. Then he won in PDP. Oh, imagine how life is. The same party he left was the same party that gave him the ticket again in 2019 and 2023. If anybody has integrity, should the question not be, even if they are struggling, shall a father about to die desire that the only thing he wants to leave as a legacy is the destruction of his family and his children and his grandchildren and everybody? Even if you had been over ambitious when you were young, when you get to a certain age in life, you have to be a bit more introspective. I don't care what they do. I shall show me what I'll do with myself. I'm too opinionated, I'm too sure of myself not to know what to do. I've stayed in the PDP for the years I've stayed in PDP. And earlier, the people in the PDP are a bunch of people who don't have the capacity to stay. I'm not afraid of losing an election. If it is, you want to do something new, and I can be sure that even if we don't succeed, people will wait. I will follow you. I cannot come today, tell my children, umbrella, party, tomorrow come and tell them broom. Next tomorrow I'll tell them horse. The next day I'm telling them cat. Are you a madman? Even if you are not afraid of your children, you shouldn't be afraid of your grandchildren. You are confusing them. People must be able to stand somewhere for a long time. I have done it. I'm only encouraging them to do so. I'm not saying they shouldn't be ambitious.
But now that they are leaving you, are you going to?
They left you. They are talking about something they've left. A great number of them are not going to go anywhere. I know them.
So
Peter Obi, with due respect, is going to run for president in 2027. I know that for a fact.
But you don't know the political party.
Now, why should it not be on the same party he used before? He's more popular now than even before. If he joins them in moving up and down, saying they are doing sort of funny street meeting, when I know that if they are not even kept, they're going to end up boxing themselves. And you expect me, a stakeholder in this country, to be part of some joke? If you want to run an election, like if I desire to know that I want to run for governor or any position, I can look at the circumstances in my party and say that, oh, they will not even allow my ideas to fly. I can peacefully tell them I'm going on sabbatical. I'm going to go and look for a platform to run an election.
So, I mean, this sabbatical now is getting synonymous to politicians. I have heard
No,
about one or two of them. Even the current present minister, FCT, is basically on a sabbatical now too.
no,
Okay.
no. You say, oh God, the media. The country has always run an idea from time to time. Anybody who becomes president, who will want to say, I want to accommodate as many people.
Of course.
Obasanjo did with what's his name now? The man from the SRK man, who is Bola Ige. We give him Attorney General. That's a very big post to give to an opposition man. They've been doing it like that. There are so many names we can prove it up. Now, this time around, I'm not his spokesman and I'm not responsible for the decision he made or the decision the party ought to have made. He wrote them a letter saying he's being invited. That guy is very smart. They underrate him because he's always dancing and playing and all that. If not so, they will not dare underrate him. Anyway, those of them that have been underrating him, where's the result? He was smart enough. That's Governor ENISAN Wike, former governor. He was so smart. I don't know even taught him that smartness. He wrote a letter to the party at the state. He wrote a letter to the party at the zone. He wrote a letter to the party at the national, specifically informing them, oh, my party, I have been invited to come and participate in this government. Say you. The state level, even with the people, they wrote it, go and do it. It's a call to national service. The one at the zone, they did a big meeting. Yes, go and do it. They want to fill your capacity. The one at the national, they collected the letter. They didn't write. The man then interpreted it to mean he had collected the express permission of his party. I've been asking, my main headache is that how do I now say he's guilty of what his sought permission did? If I were their leader in the party, if I were the chairman of their party, I would have written him. Thank you, Governor ENISAN Wike, former governor now. Acknowledge your information that you have been invited. Great. We observed the traditional model was for the party that wants to invite you to have written us formally. Having not done so to say go or don't go. But these are the consequences of whatever decision you may take. Should you decide to accept this service, we wish you the very best in this note. You shall no longer be the leader of our party for the time being. You shall no longer control our structure in your state for the time being. You shall no longer be allowed to attend our meeting for the time being. Pending the time that you are done and you have recruited yourself and you have purged yourself and you have debriefed yourself and you return. We are going to put your membership of the PDP in freeze. Remember, you see, people.
But
nations are not led by the tail. It is from the brains of human beings. Inventions take place. If I were not to be a citizen of this country, I am sure that if I were to be in America and all that, you will be paying money to hear me give lecture. The truth of the matter is that because they gave him permission, they created the problem. So you get somebody, your son came to me and said, Daddy, my friend is having a party. Can I go? He said, oh, my son, you can go. You didn't tell him come in by 10. Then the boy comes in at 11 or 12. Then you start to film. Are you serious? Is that how to parent? If you didn't want him to go, you say don't go. If you wanted to put a time limit, you put a time limit. You gave him and check. Even if you are angry with anger, because
the party review their decision.
Very good. The party can.
Why are they not doing that?
Okay. The structure of the political party that has powers to do certain things is themselves in the National Working Committee. The National Working Committee of the party is the one that has that power. Now, they have been coupled together via the way we couple them together. Do you see me as their member? Do you see me in there? So when you don't have the power of a chief executive, you cannot appropriate his powers to yourself. If I were them, again, because they don't think, what I would have done is not all this one that they are all shouting about like people who don't think. I would have written in to him and said, dear Governor Wike, we acknowledge the fact that you have gone yet again to prove to the PC that only the best material comes from. Suddenly, you are now their star boy, the best among everything they have. Having said this, We are now at the twilight of the preparation for the next journey. You are now supposed to take a position. If you want them, please go and stay with them and be with them. But if you want to come to us, resign. You have demonstrated capacity for 2 years. It's a good enough time to come back home. For if a man goes on sabbatical, you must understand when the sabbatical is over. Failing which, you will now have to consider that you have moved on. Your ship has sailed. We tell you, au revoir. If our path crosses again, it may be for good. And if it never crosses, we thank you for services in the end of note. Please,
but this
please
is
no.
This is your beautiful letter.
Please no.
What you like to do?
Please no.
Do something.
Listen,
you have to do something.
Let me complete my letter.
Which letter are you completing?
Please note that by this, we respectfully say we give you 7 days to take a decision, failing which you cease to be a member of our party. So we would have said we gave him 2 years to show to the APC that only the best come from PDP.
Hey, but they have better money and they bought your player.
You see, you people talk Kenya. Does Wicked look like someone that can be poor? Do you know the kind of resources he has?
Yeah, but you know what?
Listen,
you can.
It is even Wicked that is even spending there. I know what I'm saying. What you don't know, we give you information. You'll be insisting that your ignorance is fact.
No.
What I'm saying to you, listen. I penned this letter extempo from my head in public to let you understand that, you see, only those who are equipped and graced, prepared should lead. People can be confused. Their best intention will not give them much. Everybody has 2 eyes, 2 noses, 1 mouth, 2 ears, and a big skull. Does that mean if we go to an exam, everybody will come first? God has not created the human being to have equal gravitas of gray matter. Some are more intelligent and more knowledgeable than others.
Otunba, you tell tell us more about this mathematics when we come back, because we still need to look at the alternative.
Okay,
have you done it?
No, I cannot ever do the alternative.
Then we want to marry alternative with the next move of Otunba between we want to after this commercial.
All right.
Smash it. Feel it.
biribiri àmọ́ àwa láti jọ mílíọ̀nù lọ́nà àádójìlẹ́kan náírà láti jẹ nínú save and win pali promo kẹrin. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o lè jẹ́ kan lára àwọn olóríire èèyàn mẹ́ta tó máa jẹ ẹ̀bùn kàǹkàǹkà mílíọ̀nù 5 náírà pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀bùn alárinrin tó kù. láti jẹ fi ẹgbẹ̀rún 10 náírà pamọ́ tàbí tó bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ sínú àkáǹtì union bank rẹ kó o ti ṣe ìdókòwò lọ́nà 5 kéré jù lóṣooṣù. láti ṣe àkáǹtì tìyẹn lọ sí unionbankng.com. ìlànà tó fi wà o Union Bank.
We take a lead as others follow as we mark this yearly Shabi festival. This is to inform the public that at this yearly Shabi festival celebration, there will be a fashion show put together by the Egbaliganza, themed Walkway of Kings. The event will commence by 8 a.m. on Saturday, April 5, 2025, with declaration of our Royal Father, His Royal Majesty, the Alake of Egbaland, Oba Dr. Adedo Badebo Okukere IV, followed by blessing the good people of Egbaland. You won't want to miss the Egbaliganza Fashion Parade, which will start immediately after the declaration of our KBC. This year, Egbaliganza Fashion Show promises to be rewarding as the first 1,000 people to be seated by 8 a.m. stand the chance to become a millionaire. Venue, Alake Palace Ground, Ake Abeokuta, Ogun State. Date, April 5, 2025, by 8 a.m. Egbaliganza 2025 Fashion Show. Egbanjaye.
Yàgbà ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ti bọ̀ pọ̀ tó gba yẹn sí. Ẹ ti fún lóbìnrin kan yẹn sí. Ẹ tún ti ṣàkórí gba owó yẹn náà sí àti.
arábìnrin ẹjọ ẹ̀yin wo lẹ fẹ́ fi jẹ gbogbo eléyìí. ẹ̀yin yá máa yọ yín lẹ́nu o.
Ìwé ti dàpọ̀ sẹ́yìn ní báyìí. Ṣé ni mò ń lọ fàǹdà tí mò ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọṣẹ ìfọyín tuntun close up complete fresh protection. Mo ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn o. Ọṣẹ ìfọyín tuntun close up complete fresh protection. Àpẹ̀láàbò tó péye. Kéyìn ẹ̀ nílò oní fluoride àti antibacterial zinc tó mú kéyìn ẹ̀ gbó kéké. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló máa ń gbani lọ́wọ́ kòkòrò jẹyínjẹyín èyí tó lè mú kéyìn máa lu o.
ẹni náà ń tètè lọ rọṣẹ ìfọyín tuntun close up complete fresh protection tèmi báyìí.
Close up complete fresh protection fún ìtọ́jú tó péye téyìn ẹ̀ nílò ó wà ní jẹ́ẹ̀lì aláwọ̀ aró.
Life isn't staged. A child's joyful dance, a friend's unexpected joke, a sunset you didn't plan to see. With the Techno Camon 40 series, just lift, tap, and capture. AI flash snap and a 50 megapixel ultra sensing camera make every moment count. No delays, no retakes. Go get any of the Techno Camon 40 series with Google on Android today, because life moves fast. No pause, just snap. Available now at all slot, PC, Royal Line, Spectrum, Pointec, Top Success, Solat, Regido, and Phoenix stores nationwide. Techno, stop at
Hello, mọ́mì, ṣé dáadáa lẹ wà? Mo fẹ́ fún dábàá yẹn lówó yín kó bá yín kó wá sábúlé ni o.
Má ṣe ìjọba ọmọ mi, fi ránṣẹ́ sàkáǹtì smart cash mi.
Mọ́mì, ẹ̀yin náà mọ̀ pa smart cash.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, wọ́n máa ń fún mi lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀bùn ọ̀fẹ́. Fi ránṣẹ́ sí nọ́mbà Airtel mi.
Ó dá o, màá mi tó já.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o ó yẹ testa 939 tàbí kó o download ohun èlò smart cash láti ṣí àkáǹtì rẹ kí ìwọ náà lè jẹ gbádùn àǹfààní ńlá 20,000 naira lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí smart cash. o máa ná nínú ìfà 20,000 naira rẹ nígbàkúùgbà tó o bá ra àkókò afẹ́fẹ́ tàbí tó o bá ṣe ìsanwó pẹ̀lú smart cash. o tún máa jẹ gbádùn gbígbé owó lọ sí báńkì èyíkéyìí ní nàìjíríà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. ìlànà àti òfin wà.
Hello, ó ti wọlé o.
smart cash airtel.
Otumba, welcome back, and let's quickly run through the little time we have now.
We
You
don't have
understand?
enough time.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
enjoying you.
But of course, really, we're still going to. You know, I created a more bumper one, but you know, as busy as you are, you couldn't have it so stretched.
You
But
see,
it's fine. It's okay.
you should thank me, the one that giving you so far. I'm sure
Yes.
your audience are getting entertained and informed. Oh yeah,
The most important is for them to be informed.
entertained and informed.
I don't know that
You
you
see,
know.
let me tell you, when the radio station gets boring and flat, the audience will tune on. I have been where you are. I had the Lions Den in this state for 5 years. And the Lions Den was a very hot, no nonsense, no host.
I want to have a copy from you.
Go and take it from OGBC.
I don't want to go and tell. I want
Okay,
a
I'll
copy
find
from
you.
you.
Find you.
I want a copy from your
I'll look-
Otumba. Tell me you get me a copy.
You see, I like when the younger one is challenging the senior brother. You can ask me respectfully that my boy, can you send me a copy? Then I will send you.
Otumba, let's look at alternative and look at
I like this.
let's look at alternative and your because the way you're sounding, you seems a man so definite with his ambition and what he wants to do. You know, what I mean is that what you really want to do in politics.
Yeah. I'm very
yeah.
sure about that.
And it's looking like
Okay.
I think I've heard you said that you're not going to go the way of coalition, and it's going to be either you remain in PDP or you move to APC.
Okay.
And
No. You see, every time I make that allusion,
yeah.
people mean how he's going to live. That's not it.
No, I just said that
I know
was what I heard you.
I wanted to use the opportunity also to correct that.
Okay.
You see, whenever I talk like that, I'm doing what you call narrative comparison.
Okay.
What I said was that at least you will say whatever you want to say about them now. They are leaders like Bola Tinubu and Buhari, who are the two main pillars of that party. At least you must concede that they had the ability to be losing and staying with their ideological position. After all, they didn't win for 16 years and they did not come and join PDP. So I said, if it gets to the point where they have destroyed everything, I would rather be with people who have demonstrated their ability to stand with their ideology. You see, it takes a lot for you to be wired for something.
But with your ideas, really, many people even think you shouldn't be in the opposition.
You should be in government.
Yeah.
In
And,
2015,
if you really think you want to emancipate the people, don't you really think
I
that
should go back, I should go and
you
get
have to
my-
find a way to bring your ideas to the table? Your idea is far from the table. Don't you think so, Otumba?
You see, Obafemi Awolowo tried to president here and he never succeeded. He did not stop him from enjoying
The present generation
Okay,
of
now,
politicians
no,
are
wait,
not talking
wait.
about Obafemi Awolowo.
When
Your ideas are good and people feel your ideas should be on the table for people to benefit from.
okay.
And at this point in time, really, the question will be that alternative and your next step, what is going to happen?
I tell you this, you have asked a very good question and it's a sober question. By May 29 this year, I told myself privately that I will take action on what the future will be. That future will either I'm going to do everything humanly possible to give the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria my time, my energy, my all for another 2 years, or I'm going to dump them. And if I want to now dump them, the question that I've been agitating my mind is that how do I what do I see or who do I see on the other side that can inspire me by the joke that is leading? Just listen.
I want to get it. I mean,
if I cannot be inspired,
Yeah.
whoever is claiming to be leading his space, if I go there comfortable, the reason is that whereas I have enjoyed robustness of independent thoughts, opinions, and views in my party, I can't go and meet people who don't inspire people and then go and suddenly become a. Those are the things that I'm struggling with. My prayer and my hope is that I'm able to find that spark that helps me to better is capable of being contributed towards nation building, and I will do that. At a point, I was saying to myself, at a point, not anymore, choose the election on behalf of Peter. And I was saying to myself that anywhere Peter goes, I may go, not because I think we will win, but because I feel that maybe we will correct an impression. But having seen Obasanjo and Abraham Adesoya and Doyin Okupe on behalf of the Yoruba people contribute so much to Peter's effort, I'm not seeing a commensurate in dose of respect for the Yorubas there. I began to ask myself, am I going to continue to when they will not happily see that people are only trying to help them? And I will not be, I'm a Yoruba man. We are all tribe men, we are all Nigerians. I'm not going to sit anywhere and accept that I'm going to join people to piece on my tribe so that their own tribe, who are probably even inferior to mine, will now be bragging and all that. I won't do that. All things considered, I just want us to have a more collaborative idea of development. The world is moving very fast, and we need to be solving the problem of our people right now, not tomorrow.
all right. May is so close.
Eternity.
May is so close, and by May 29th, 12 noon, we should expect to have a press release from you to know where you're heading to, and by then we will know exactly which. It will be going to be a transfer season. Let's see which political party will have.
Why do you think I will not stay?
Let's see the political party that will have the.
No, can I ask you, do you really want me to leave?
Let's see the political party that will have the. The blank check. Anyway, it's okay. So let's leave it there. Ultimately, good to see you. I hope we'll have you one of these days so soon. Ralph is my name. Smash names will return on Monday. Okay, bye bye.
Radio in the world. 88.1 Smash FM.
Jennifer.
Smash FM.
Smash FM.
Smash FM. Yes, Smash FM.
àti mi àti gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́bí mi smash là ń tán.
Iléeṣẹ́ àlọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè ti gbọ́.